Good morning, students. In the last class, we learned about the Sufi movement and the Bhakti movement. So, what was the causes for the rise of the Sufi movement? Causes of the rise of the Bhakti movement? How the Sufi movement was began in our country? And what were the teachings of Sufism? Today, shall we discuss about the one more important movement, that is Bhakti movement. The word Bhakti means devotion to God. The Bhakti movement was a reform movement within Hinduism. How the Sufi movement was a reform movement within Islam, in the similar way, the Bhakti movement was a reform movement within Hinduism. When it was begun in India, it was begun in South India in the 7th century, and it became a very popular movement before the arrival of the Turks. See, during 12th century, Turks was arrived to our country. At the time, the Sufism was began in India, but before the arrival of the Turks in 7th century in South India, the Bhakti movement was very popular and it was began. So, Bhakti science, they were drew their inspiration from the Upanishads and the Bhagavad Gita. How the Sufi science, they drew their inspiration from Quran. In the similar way, the Bhakti science, they drew their inspiration from where? From the Upanishads and the Bhagavad Gita. People were attracted to the principle of monotheism, equality, and ritual free worship. Actually, when Hinduism became more rigid and complex, too difficult for common people to follow because of its rigidity, the Bhakti science uplifted the principle of monotheism, believe in one single God, equal, there is no differences, and the ritual free worship, no need of to worship, no need of to perform any kind of the rituals to please the God. By propagating its principles of one God, mean the Bhakti science popularized monotheism in one God, universal brotherhood. We may belong for any race, any religion, any region. We are all brothers and the sisters, and respect for all religion. While you are going to follow your own religion, you love your own religion. You respect towards to other religion. The Bhakti movement created a favorable atmosphere or conducive environment to the harmonious and the peaceful coexistence of Hindus and Muslims. The Bhakti movement was created a favorable atmosphere or conducive environment to the harmonious and peaceful the existence of both Hindu and the Muslim religions. What are the teachings of the Bhakti science? There is only one God. The same what the Sufi science preached the teachings, the similar teachings are here. There is only one God. They also uplifted the idea of monotheism. Everyone is equal in the eyes of God. Even here, the Bhakti science also uplifted the idea of the equality principle. God can reach through love, devotion, and the even total surrender to his will and not through rites, rituals, and idol worship. Here also, the Bhakti science, they were opposed to perform the meaningless, costly rites and rituals, and even they also opposed idol worship. How can we reach the God? We can reach the God through love, devotion, and we can surrender our total will to the God. Everyone should live a pure life. Pure life means so without exploiting others. Without exploiting others. So many the Bhakti saints in our country, they are Ramananda, Kabir, Guru Nanak, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Mirabai, Alvas, Nayanars, and Shankara Gnaneshwara were some of the great reformers of the Bhakti movement, who were the great reformers of the Bhakti movement: Ramananda, Kabir, Guru Nanak, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Mirabai, Alvars, Nayanars, and Shankara Gnaneshwara were some of the great reformers of the Bhakti movement. First, Ramananda. He was very strongly opposed caste system because during those days the caste system was very strictly followed in Hindu society. Being a even the saint of a Bhakti movement, he was opposed to the caste system, and he was welcomed people from every caste as his disciples or student. So he was welcomed people from the every caste as his disciples or the students. He has a 12 students, closest followers were a leather worker, a barber, and a Muslim. So weaver. See, because during those days the caste system was very strictly followed. But Ramananda was opposed to the caste system, and he was welcomed to the people from the different caste as his students or disciples. Among his 12 closest followers were a leather worker, a barber, and a Muslim weaver. Just it shows that during those days only he was uplifted the idea of equality and opposed the caste system. Next, Sant Kabir. He stressed the idea of one God. He was propagated monotheism. He taught that Ishwar Allah, Ram and Rahim were different names of one God. So here we are worshipping in the name of Ram. They are worshipping in the name of Rahim. We are worshipping in the name of Ishwar. They are called the same God as Allah. It taught that Ishwar and Allah, Ram and Rahim were different names of one God. He spread the message of Hindu-Muslim unity. See, he was uplifted the idea of religious tolerance, and he always supported for the Hindu-Muslim unity and universal brotherhood. You may belonging for any religion, any region, any linguistic group. We are all the first brothers and the sisters. Tolerance means you are following your own religion, you are loving your own religion. At the same time, you need to respect for the religion. And he was asked to absolute surrender to the one and only God. We need to surrender our will to the to one and only God. He opposed caste system, rituals, no need of performing any kind of rituals or the sacrifices, and he was also opposed to idol worship. Kabir preached his simple messages through simple and beautiful Hindi poems. How he was preached? He was preached his messages through simple, beautiful Hindi poems called dohas. Here, the Kabir was preached his message through simple and beautiful Hindi poems is called as dohas. Next, another important Bhakti movement reformer is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was a devotee of Lord Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was a devotee of which God? Lord Krishna. He traveled widely and preached the message of universal brotherhood. You may belonging for any region, any religion, any linguistic group. He was uplifted the idea of universal brotherhood. So even the whole world, we are all the brothers and sisters. He believed that through love and devotion, song and dance, how can we experience the existence of God according to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? How can we experience the existence of God? Through love and devotion, song and dance. Through the love and devotion, song and dance, one could experience the God's existence. He was opposed all outward forms mean performing rituals, sacrifices, yagnas, yagas, idol worship, ceremonies of religion, and he was opposed to the domination of the priestly classes. He was always opposed to the outward forms of celebrations, mean rituals, sacrifices, yagnas, yagas, idol worship, and he was opposed the domination of the which class? The priestly classes people. Next, another important the reformer is Mirabai. She was a Rajput princess. Mirabai was a Rajput princess and a great devotee of Lord Krishna. How Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was a great devotee of the Lord Krishna, in the similar way, the Mirabai is also a great devotee of the Lord Krishna. She spread the message of devotion and love for God through devotional songs. How can she express it? Her devotion and love towards for God? So through devotional songs called Mirabai's Bhajanas. She was expressed her devotion and love towards to God through devotional songs. What it is called? These songs are called Mirabai's Bhajanas. She spent a lot of time with the devotees of Lord Krishna. How she spent her time? She spent most of her time with whom? With the devotees of the Lord Krishna, singing and dancing in devotion to Lord Krishna. What she is doing? By singing and dancing in devotion to whom? To the Lord, the Krishna. Actually, the Bhakti movement was begun in South India in the beginning of the 7th century, before the arrival of the Turks. Is it I already told for you? Where it was begin in South India. They are the what? Alvars, by whom? The Alvars and the Nayanars. Alvars and Nayanars were from South India. Nayanars and Alvars from where? From South India. The Alvars were Tamil poet saints. Alvars were the Tamil poet saints who preached total devotion to the deity Vishnu. Alvars. Alvars are the what? They are showing the total devotion towards to whom? To Vishnu through their devotional hymns. They spread the idea of Bhakti as the only path to salvation. Here, the Alvars were the Tamil poet saints who preached total devotion to deity which called Lord Vishnu through their devotional hymns, and they spread the idea of the Bhakti as only the one path for the salvation. They popularized Vaishnavism. See, Alvars are popularized Vaishnavism. One who worshipped the Vishnu, they were called as Vaishnavas. One who worshipped the Vishnu, they were called as the Vaishnavas. The Alvars are popularized the Vishnu. Which one? Vaishnavism, by composing hymns in the local Tamil language. Who were popularized the Vaishnavism by composing hymns in the local Tamil language. So, Alvars. The Nayanars were a group of Tamil poet saints. Another group, the Nayanars, were a group of Tamil poet saints devoted to Lord Shiva. One who worshipped the Lord Shiva, they were called as Shaivas. One who worshipped Vishnu, they were called as Vaishnavas. One who worshipped the Lord Shiva, they were called as the Shaivas. Together with the Alvars, they spreaded the Bhakti movement along with the even Alvars and the Nayanars. Together they were spreaded the Bhakti movement in the Tamil speaking regions of South India. Together Alvars and the Nayanars, they were spreaded together the Bhakti movement in the way in the Tamil speaking region of the South India. Next, another important the Bhakti movement reformer is Shankara Gnaneshwara. Another important the Bhakti movement reformer is Shankara Gnaneshwara. He was a famous poet saint and the first Bhakti preacher in Maharashtra. Who was the first Bhakti movement preacher in Maharashtra? Shankara Gnaneshwara. Who was the first the Bhakti movement preacher in Maharashtra? Shankara Gnaneshwara. He opposed the caste system. He was opposed the caste system, the ritualism, no need of worshipping the different type of the rituals and sacrifices to please the God. So, at the same time, supremacy of the Brahmanas. During those days, the priestly class, especially the Brahmins, were very dominant in the society. The Shankara Gnaneshwara was opposed the domination of the Brahmins. He inspired his followers to follow the path of absolute surrender. Mean we need to surrender our complete will and devotion to God. We need to surrender our will to whom? To God, or devotion to God. The incarnation of the Vishnu, there are 10 incarnation is there. Okay, Varaha Avatara, Kurma Avatara, like that. There are 10 incarnation is there. Then he wrote Gnaneshwari. He wrote a book called Gnaneshwari and a commentary on the Bhagavad Gita in Marathi. Who wrote a commentary on the Bhagavad Gita in Marathi? Shankara Gnaneshwara. He spread the message of Bhakti. He was spread the message of Bhakti through lyrical poems called Abhangas. Who so spread the message of Bhakti through lyrical poems called Abhangas? Shankara Gnaneshwara. How Kabir was preached his simple messages through simple and beautiful Hindi poems called Dohas. How the Mirabai was sung the devotional songs called Mirabai Bhajanas. In the similar way, Shankara Gnaneshwara spread the message of Bhakti through lyrical poem called Abhangas. Next, another important the religion is Sikhism. Guru Nanak was a founder of Sikhism. Who was a founder of Sikhism? The Guru Nanak. Like Kabir, he was inspired by the philosophies of both Hinduism and Islam. Was inspired from the even philosophies of both Hinduism and Islam, the Guru Nanak. He combined the best elements of the two religions. Was combined the best elements of the Hinduism and Islam. The year Guru Nanak was combined the best elements of Hinduism and the Islam, and so here two religion and established the independent sects of the Sikhs. By the 17th century CE, Sikhism was accepted by many, especially in Punjab. So by the end of the 17th century CE, Sikhism was accepted by many, especially in the Punjab. The important teachings of the Guru Nanak as are follows. What were the teachings of the Guru Nanak? What were the teachings of the Guru Nanak? There is only one God. There is only one God. There is only one God and is the creator of this universe. Who is the creator of the entire universe? A God. So God is one, is the creator of entire universe. Secondly, all human beings are equal. You may belong for any caste, any creed, any religion, any region, any linguistic group, or any other social status. So we are all equal. The caste system must be rejected. Even in the Sikhism also they were opposed the caste system and the principle of the universal brotherhood. Here also see even Sufism, even in the Bhakti science, even the teachings of the Sikhism is also uplifted the idea of the universal, the brotherhood. Everyone should lead a good and pure life based on truth and kindness. No need of to adopt a cut route for the success. Everyone has to lead a good and pure life the based on what? Truth and kindness. And discord and it was even in the Sikhism also, they also opposed idol worship and ritualism. Here also there is no place for idol worship and the ritualism and the sacrifices. The spiritual knowledge can be gained. Okay, how can we get the spiritual knowledge? So here under the guidance of a guru, how can we receive the spiritual knowledge under the guidance of a guru? A guru is a central to the Sikh religion. There is a great the respect in the Sikhism for guru. The word Sikh is derived from a word which means disciple. What is the meaning of the word Sikh? The meaning of the word Sikh is the disciple. Sikhism is also referred to as Gurumat. What is the meaning of the word the Sikh? The Sikh mean the word mean disciple. Sikhism is also referred to as Gurumat. Meaning of the Gurumat is the Guru's doctrine. God is the original Guru. Who is the original Guru? The God is the original Guru, and Guru Nanak is chosen disciple. According to Sikhism belief, the God is the original Guru, and Guru Nanak is chosen the disciple or the student. There were 10 Sikh Gurus. How many Sikh Gurus were there? There were 10 Sikh Gurus are there. The first, the Sikhism was founded by the Guru Nanak. The last Guru, Guru Gobind Singh, was the 10th Sikh Guru, Guru Gobind Singh. He was transformed the authority of the Guru to the holy scriptures called the Adi Granth, who were transformed the authority of the Guru to the holy scriptures called the Adi Granth, the 10th Guru, Guru Gobind Singh, which came to be known as the Guru Granth Sahib. The teachings of all the Gurus are contained in it. Whereas all the teachings of all Gurus are contained in the Guru Granth Sahib, and it serves as a guide or Guru. Or teachings of the 10 Gurus are contained in it, where contained in the Guru Granth Sahib, and it serves as a guide or the Guru. The Sikhs worship in a Gurudwara, where the Sikhs are worshipped in a Gurudwara. It is the holy place of the Sikhs. The door of the Guru. What is the meaning of the word Gurudwara? Door of the Guru. Every Sikh must all times have the 5 sacred symbols of Sikhism. Being a Sikh, they have to keep always 5 sacred symbols of the Sikhism. These are called 5 Ks. These are all called 5 Ks. Kesh, air; Kong, comb; Kacha, shorts; Kirpan, a sword; Kara, steel bracelet. Being a Sikh, every Sikh has have the 5 sacred symbols of the Sikhism. Every Sikh must at all times have the 5 sacred symbols of Sikhism. These are called 5 Ks. They are, the first one is Kesh. First one is the Kesh or air. Second one is Konga, comb. Third one, Kachamin, shorts. Fourth one, Kirpan, sword. And Kara, the steel, the bracelet. But the 9th Sikh Guru, the Guru Tej Bahadur, was killed in 1675 by the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb. The Aurangzeb was followed the religious intolerance policy. Due to his intolerance policy, in 1675, the 9th Sikh Guru, the Guru Tej Bahadur, was assassinated by Aurangzeb. These angered the Sikhs. Under the leadership of the Guru Gobind Singh, they were transformed into martial race. Because the 9th Sikh Guru, the Guru Tej Bahadur, was assassinated by Aurangzeb in 1675, these incidents angered the Sikhs. So, under the leadership of Guru Gobind Singh, the Sikhs were transformed into martial race. The Guru Gobind Singh organized the Sikhs into a disciplined military group. Disciplined the military group, it's called Khalsa, and turned the followers of Guru Nanak into soldier saints. Under the even leadership of the Guru Gobind Singh, here the Sikhs won't turn to the what? The followers of the Guru Nanak into soldier saints. What was the impacts of the religious movements? What was the impacts of the religious movements? The Bhakti and Sufi saints preached in the language of common people. They never used any different language. They were preached their message in simple and common and vernacular languages of the common people, and this led to the development of a local languages. Because of that reason, so many regional languages were developed. The common people, especially of the lower caste, had free access to the great truths, because in the earlier the Sanskrit was used as a language, but it could not be understood by the common people. When the religious reformers, they were used the what? The even the common language. So because of that reason, even the common people, especially of the lower caste people, they had free access to the great truth of Hindu philosophy, and so convergence slowed down during this period. Because of why? Because when Bhakti science, so they were reformers, they were so even told the what truths of the Hindu religion. So because of that reason, so during this time, the what was slowed down, the even conversion was slowed down. The Bhakti movement exposed what? So even futility of rites and rituals. What is the need to perform the different type of the rituals and the rites, and it was undermined the superiority of the Brahmins. Before the reform movement, who were dominant in Hindu society, Brahmins, and they were sometimes misguided the common people to perform the different type of the yagnas and yagas. But so when all the Bhakti reformer and Sufi reformer opposed the even rituals and sacrifices, and because of that reason, it was undermined the what? Undermined the superiority of the Brahmins. The Sufis and the Bhaktis with their emphasis, see, both sides, even the Bhakti reformers, even the Sufi reformers, they gave more emphasis on universal brotherhood, and equality, and created an environment of tolerance. The both Sufi and the Bhakti reformers, they were uplifted the idea of universal brotherhood, equality, religious tolerance, and mutual respect between each other. So because of that reason, so here there was understanding between the even Sufi and even the Bhakti movement. So today we are in leading in a 21st century age of the globalization and multicultural societies we have. So at the same time, the teachings of the Bhakti and Sufi science can be used as an effective tool. See, today we are in 21st century and we are living in multicultural societies. Even though, so here the teachings of the Bhakti and Sufi science can be used as an effective tool to combat the growing trends of intolerance. Just you see, open the newspaper. Every day, one or in another way, you are seeing the communal clashes. Communal clashes mean the fight between two religious people. Communal clashes, and so even fanaticism and threaten national and international security and stability. Here, even the what? So because of that reason, even in the 21st century, so the teachings of the Bhakti and the Sufi science were the relevant.